All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the studios. Won't be a long video, I don't think, but please stay tuned. Over on our family of channels, Beatles Internally. That's right, Beatles Internally. Go ahead and please subscribe to his channels. He is doing a wonderful tournament followed by the Boston.com channels, rating the greatest franchise of all time. Each one franchise is picked, and then they are put in a bracket, which Beatles has done. I've done something a little more differently. Stratomatic is not usually a main core on his channel, so I've decided to use Stratomatic Baseball as my tournament of choice and game of choice. And because I have different feelings about how the advanced teams, especially like the Chicago Cubs, New York Giants, teams like that, to me, don't um, fare well against the teams from the modern era because the problem you're going to have is going to be the super advanced method, along with the errors back in the day. So, what I've done, if you read the article by Boston.com, greatest franchises, they do list honorable mentions. So, what I've done, I picked 30 of the major league teams, all represented once, and then I've taken some of the teams they picked, but I've also taken a lot of the honorable mentions. What makes this a little more different is each team is played can be played super advanced, and that is key. I want the ballpark effects. I want to have the home ballpark to be a factor in this, the clutch and everything else, and even weather possibly. We'll see how that will play when we get this started. Won't be starting tonight, but this is, as you see, the March Madness Major League Baseball Tournament Selection Show, and we will reveal the brackets where again these are going to be brackets off the typical printyourbracket.com. So you'll see how I did that, and then I'll explain how home field advantage will work. Now this is going to be how this is going to affect a couple teams better than others, because what we're going to do is we're going to have two-man rotations, because in the tournament, as you know, you play the 64 and 32. That gets you down to the Sweet 16. That plays in one weekend. So the two-man rotation will play that way. And then we go to Sweet 16. Games are usually played a week later. So that will give the rotations enough to refresh and start over. So basically, the 16 and the 8s, or in this case, go back to the 16, I believe, or the 8 and the 4. And then when you get down lower in the brackets, you'll get your starters to come back again a little quicker. But let's go ahead and I'll explain things. Let's get to the Stratomatic screen itself, and then we can maybe do some work with that. Explain how some of this is going to work. And go ahead and bring that up so you have it. Okay, so I bring up that screen. What we're going to do, again, I'm not sure you're going to be able to see this or not, because again, the I have to be able to learn how to have some of these things process, how to show stuff on the screen. So let's just assume, well, I do have a 2016 greatest thing set up, but I'm probably going to reset it with all the 30 teams that I pick. So basically, both brackets, again, different from the Beatles channel. We're going to have an American League and we're going to have a National League bracket for all the teams that are played. So if we go to my 2016 greatest teams or 2017 greatest teams, let's go ahead and look out the options, what we have. The rules will have it set at max levels, but the only max level thing I'm going to have is injuries, and they'll be by game only. So they'll reset after every game. So if there's an injury, you'll be hurt possibly for the game only, and then you can return back. That's the only max rule we're really going to have. Everything else will play the same. We'll play ballpark clutch, and because it's baseball, we'll put weather in there and see how that affects it. We'll play the super advanced deal option. We'll play with the super advanced strategy charts. We'll use miscellaneous rules. We'll use the closer rule, which I think is key. We'll go ahead and use injuries, but again, have them to speak game only. We'll play with use super advanced fatigue rules. That is so important, because if you use the pitch count, then you're at the computer and it's AI and being a gimmicky, in my opinion. So you play by the game rules. If your starter is a six, you go six, then you reach the ending of fatigue. We're going to play pre 2020 rules. That means if we have extra innings, we're going to a winner. There's not going to be any. There's not going to be any ghost runners. There's not. What we're probably going to try to do is a three batter minimum, so you just can't flip flop pitchers all the time. And as we do that, let's go ahead and choose the next ones. I think will be just as important. We'll go with manual lineups, probably set or auto lineups. Um, Days off will be scheduled. There will be no auto swaps, so there'll be no. There's no chance of any trades. Then we'll go with probably minor league baseball ineligible. So you have to have a certain number of guys. Probably will do that. Overusage, we'll have try. We'll ignore the overuses in this tournament. We'll have 10 pitchers, 15 hitters, a 25 rotation. And let's take a look at our next possibility we can use. Again, some of these are more important than others. In game preference, we are going to go dice mode, so we're not going to autoplay, roll the dice. It's because I think it maybe take games a lot longer. So you might see the American League and National League first round games that will be determined who will play the number one seeds in each. We'll explain that when we go forward. We'll show the fight a ball. We'll have board game information turned on. I will probably be running both teams at the same time at best of my capability, only because I don't want the computer AI to cost the team a win. Again, we'll keep that at 1-1, so you'll see probably things running a little bit faster unless I want to slow it down. In the dice card splits, dice will be rolled automatically. We'll play all three dice stop at the same time. Split cards are automatic. Again, we're all at one, and we'll animate the super advanced fielding chart, which then you will be able to see exactly what chances of errors come up most likely. We'll have no sound that might interfere with the broadcast, and those are your main rules. So let's go ahead and continue onward here and see how we're doing and how we're going to be doing this again. If I don't get anyone during this live broadcast, consider this to be a recording. Please come ahead and like, please subscribe. And of course, if you like and subscribe, you'll know exactly when we go on live and play these tournament games. As they say on the broadcast, let's reveal our brackets. As we play the music that you're always wanting to see, let's go ahead and reveal our brackets. So give me a second. We'll go ahead and set that up. So we'll have everything set up. So let's go ahead and reveal the American League bracket, the junior circuit, as they say. Go ahead and put that one in. There we go. Let's go ahead and review the American League side. Again, the games are going to be played. So the 19. This is a tough game for the one seed. The one seed is going to be the 1998 Yankees, and the seeds, if you're wondering, were determined by Chat GPT. Let's see if I can maybe throw that in my window, and you can see exactly maybe what I did. So I'm going to have a empty screen in a minute. So please stay tuned. I appreciate that. Oh no, I guess I can't use a fourth screen. That is going to be in guilt because they want me to pay for that. So we'll go ahead and keep the four screens, and we'll go back here. So yeah, ChatGPT is an awesome device. Great, puts great graphics like the one I had tonight, and it also did my seeds. I told it my 15 seeds in the American League and the 15 seeds in the National League. It actually gave me a little bit about each team and kind of why were they're at. So this is how it is. The 1998 New York Yankees in the first round of games will be played at Yankee Stadium in New York. So the game between the 1984 Tigers, the eighth seed, which I'm calling a BS, against the 1993 Toronto Blue Jays, two tough teams. The winner will play the Yankees at Yankee Stadium, and that will be in the round of 8. Then we will shift. The high seed is going to be the Oakland Alameda Mausoleum. The high seed in this grouping is the 4th seed, the 1972 A's. They will play the team of the 2002 Anaheim Angels, so a fight of California. Of course, this is rally ball. This is of the Angels of Tim Salmon, an excellent offensive team. Again, that could be a tough matchup, but the A's can pitch. Then again, staying in the same grouping. So again, the second game that brings us to the final four of the American League will be again here in Oakland. So it will be 2005 Chicago White Sox. They'll take on their friends, the 1991 Minnesota Twins. All these games will be played in Oakland. As we go down, you'll then see that we'll go to Safeco Field. That will be the site of the next bracket. It will be the 2001 Seattle Mariners taking on the 2008 Tampa Bay Rays, the two-seed Mariners against the 15th seed against the Rays. Then it will be the 2023 Rangers taking on the 2015 Royals. Royals are going to be a tough out because of the way their pitching is. Then we go to Fenway Park in Boston. The number three seed Red Sox, they'll be the home of this region. They'll take on the 1966 Baltimore Orioles. Can be a tough matchup for Boston with the pitching. They will play the winners of the 2017 Houston Astros. Click on the cans, I guess. Taking on the 1954 Cleveland Indians. Again, the winners will play in the Grade 8, and that will again be in Fenway Park. Then we'll move the games between either the Yankees, Tigers, Toronto, A's, Angels, White Sox, Twins will then go to a Final Four, what was the region semifinals. Those games will not be played in the park of the winner. We'll have a special ballpark set up, probably one of the four, probably something of originality, something that has not been used. Maybe some of the older ballparks. I'm thinking one of the American League brackets might be the Wrigley Field in California. So again, something a little different. If I have a good image for that, we'll go ahead and probably play there. Again, I haven't thought everything completely out, but that's what I'll do there. And then again, we'll have a special bracket for the 8 remaining. That is the Mariners, the Rays, the Rangers, the Royals, the Red Sox, the Orioles, Astros, and Indians. Those 8 will be again in another separate bracket, and the winners will play in the regional finals. Again, that'll be in basically the same site or the same. Well, actually, that'll probably be a Final Four, and again, we'll pick an old-fashioned ballpark for that also, either possibly the Polo Grounds or maybe Ebbets Field. That will be the American League. Again, it's the Yankees. They're the 1 seed. They do get the bye because of the 15-team field. They'll take on the winners of the Tigers, Blue Jays. Then the A's, Angels will take on the winner of the White Sox and Twins. Then in the bottom part of this bracket, 4, 6, 8, will be the Mariners and Rays, Rangers and Royals, Red Sox and Orioles, and Astros and Indians. Hope everyone got that. Everyone could understand what's going on. Again, I do appreciate everyone watching this with me so far this evening. As they say in the game, let's go ahead and reveal our brackets. We'll go ahead and reveal the National League side of things. So, as we go to the National League side of things, the top seed, number 1 seed, Cincinnati Reds, 1975 Reds, they'll be the host of the region. And again, it's going to be a tough little region. They'll play the winner of the 82 Brewers, since I left the Astros in the American League, the Astros and the 67 Cardinals. And then they will take on the winners of the 4 teams after. They'll take on, actually, it'll be a different grouping. Again, this will be in, let's see, who did get the rating. It will be the Mets. So Shea Stadium in New York will be one of the regions. The Mets will take on the Marlins of 03. Then it will be the 63 Los Angeles Dodgers, and they'll be not the home grouping here. Actually, they will play the winner of the Mets. So I'm sorry, let's try that again. So the Mets Marlins will take on the winners of the 63 Dodgers and Sandy Koufax, and that could be Don Drysdale, pitching the second game of the series, and the 94 Expos. Of course, they're the team who were the best record in baseball in the 94 before the strike. So the next grouping will be from Wrigley Field. It'll be the it'll be the 2 seed 16 Chicago Cubs taking on the '07 Rockies. They will take on the winner again at Wrigley Field, the '71 Pirates and the '80 Phillies, the battle of Ken Castro versus Beatles. So that will be fun. So hopefully Kenny or Beatles will go ahead and view this one to see the winners. The bottom bracket will be in Fulton County Stadium, Atlanta, Georgia, as the '95 Braves will take on the '98 Padres, and the winner of that game will take on the '01 Diamondbacks and the 1954 New York Giants, who shocked the world and beat the Indians that year. So both the Indians and Giants are both included in this tournament. To me, this is probably this and '60 Giants that got to the World Series were probably two of the best Giant teams. I know they did win it in 12 or 10, what was it, 10, 12, 14, won their three championships, but I don't think it, again, they said that a team that played the Yankees that basically came within a hit to winning it well, on the Bobby Richardson snag at second base. So the this Giant team will be definitely a force with Willie Mays in the tournament. But again, guess who they're taking on? A team that could run this table, the '01 Diamondbacks. That's going to be a 1-2 combination of Randy Johnson and Kurt Schilling. Again, if you have a two-person rotation like you could have, could have a Koufax and Drysdale, and they'll be playing in that Met series. And you can see a Drysdale when one of the Met pitchers, they can control that game and not have to have their offense carry them. That Dodger team can go far. You can definitely see a Dodger red, possibly Elite Eight type of thing. So again, these are 30 teams. Again, you had to have two teams receiving the top end buys. That was the '75 Reds in the National League, and then in the other one, it was the 1998 New York Yankees. Again, we kind of told you what we're looking at rules wise, so we kind of know what we're looking at here. Again, we're going to be playing Stratomatic baseball. Possibly, I've not said no to this. If we play one game an evening, we might just go ahead and roll dice, or possibly maybe a little electric dice or something like that, like from Ball Score. That way we can roll the dice, play the games, and enter our own statistics, or basically let you can actually do it where the dice pop up, and then you can still make the decisions, but Strat is doing all the bookkeeping, which makes this a great game. Which basically does the bookkeeping for you, and then asks you the question if you want to send runners or stealing bases. We can do that too, and we might go ahead and do that. That'll have a little more fun to it than probably playing two 30-minute computer games. Again, I want to try to do something a little bit different than the Beatles internally Boston.com series. With their tournament, again, they're using a lot of the dead ball type teams from the past. Again, I don't have a lot of those teams before 1960 on the computer. I have the '54 season, I have the 1930 season, a few seasons before. That's why we're doing this. Again, let's show you. This is the National League bracket, so go ahead and look at it. Then we'll go ahead and flip, and we'll go back to the American League bracket, so you can take a look at that once again. I know I have somebody that is here, possibly watching from the stands, but go ahead and keep those in mind. Again, this is the Major League Baseball Stratomatic tournament that we will be doing. Again, similar to the Beatles tournament, but I did something a little bit differently. The brackets are arranged by American League, so in American League games, the DH, that thing will be used in American League ballparks, while the National League ballparks will have the no pitcher. They will have to use their pitchers to hit, so more of a strategic game. So that will be that. So again, that's another rule I didn't think about, but that's what we'll do there. And again, this is going to be, again, the seeds were predetermined by ChatGPT. Again, by putting in that little sting there, by giving them all 15 of my American League, 15 of my National League teams, and this is what they came up with for the seeds going forward. And I thought that was cool. I didn't have to say, well, this team was the best, and someone argue. Basically, I let an outside source do my seeding. It's kind of what you hear sometimes with the draft. I mean, an outside source picking the teams for the draft or the draft lottery. Well, this is what we did. We did a draft lottery for the 30 teams, 15 American, 15 a national, and that's how the cookie crumbles, as they say. That's how the 15 teams in the American League, and that was the 15 teams in the National League. Again, this is going to be a one-off. This is one and done. So if you win, you go on. You lose, you go home. Just like, again, what they're doing over with Beatles also. Again, kind of mimicking all that. Again, let's take a look at the brackets one more time and probably let you go for the evening. 21 minutes, hoping for a 30-minute stream for the selection show. Again, American League games will be played at Yankee Stadium, the 1998 version. They are the number one seed. They'll wait for either the 84 Tigers or the 93 Jays. That is a very good matchup and a possibly a landmine game for the Yankees to go against. You know how good those Tigers were. And then it's the 72 A's. I'm assuming I have that team in Super Advance. I'd have to check again. They'll take on the 0-2 Angels. If not, that A's team might change. So let me look at it. If not, we might be in trouble. So let's go ahead and just make sure the 72 team is completely all set, and I can use that one. It's not an old one. I have a feeling if I had the old one, not sure if I'd be able to continue and go forward. So let's look at the A's. We'll see what they look like. Let's take a look at Catfish Hunter's card and see what Mr. Hunter looks like. Okay. Hunter was 21-7, 2.04 ERA. Oh, no. They are advanced only. So I either never did or never loaded it on. I mean, usually I'll have the 72 season, so I must have the old one. So the A's that year, let's look at it. They went 93 wins. Doesn't probably matter much. They're about the same. 94 wins for 73. Looks like a Catfish Hunter for 73. So this might be a 73 A's. If you just got here, you're going to get a little bit of, 73 is super advanced. 74 is still not by the company. So 73 Oakland is actually the number one team I can use. I mean, I could have used like 89. I didn't want to use the Philadelphia A's again. Again, I'm trying to stay with a super advanced version that I can play with. So 73 with the option, or even an 89 option where they beat the Giants in 4 straight. But we're going to go old school A's. Charlie Finley, Jim Catfish Hunter, 21-5, 3.34 ERA, 39 home runs. So yeah, there'll be some pops on his card. And they will be now, so it will be a 73 team that will be replaced by them. So keep that in mind as we go forward. So we have 73 A's versus the 0-2 Angels. Again, those games are going to be played at Oakland Alameda County Coliseum. Then they'll take on the winner of the 05 White Sox and the 91 Twins. I do have that twin team in Super Advanced year that they did win it. So we'll look and see if that might actually change a bit. So it will be the 01 Mariners, again, one of the best records of all time that did not win the World Series. They'll take on the 08 Tampa Bay Rays. Watch out. That A's team did have some pitching. They'll be tough. The 23 Royals and the 23 Rangers and the 15 Royals. Royals will be tough. They have an excellent pitching staff, rotation, and they have with a short tournament, they have an incredible bullpen to deal with. So, again, that's there. And then you have probably one of the teams no one wants to play. The 2018 Red Sox. They had an unbelievable season. If you ask me, that might be one of the finer teams of all time, along with the year they had. And I think they're going to be extremely tough, but they'll play the 66 Orioles. So that could be very interesting. That's a Frank Robinson team. And again, the Red Sox pitching staff will have to hold up. That'll probably be a Chris Sale and somebody else that year. Then it's going to be 17 Astros versus the 54 Indians. Again, those games will all be played at Fenway Park. So the winner of those 4 will also play in Fenway, even if it's someone else besides Boston. So again, we're keeping the aspect alive of giving the regional the 3 games. So basically, they'll play the first round game and the second round game basically on the home court, or the home field of the higher seed. So it'll be the 03 Red Sox, it'll be the 2 Mariners, it will be the 4 A's, and the number 1 seed Yankees are your top 4. Let's just go ahead and bust through to the National League one more time, and we'll probably finish it up here. Kind of give you guys again one more time to look over. Again, the number 1 seed are the Reds. That's going to be Riverfront Stadium, and then they'll wait for the winner between the Brewers and Cardinals. And then it will be the 4 seed Mets taking on the 13 Marlins. That will be the 05 Dodgers and the 12 Expos. And then in the other group will be the 16 Cubs and the 07 Rockies. The Cubs will have home field, and the Pirates and Phillies, the Castros versus Beatles and Turtle League game. And then it will be the Braves and Padres. The Braves will hold home field for that mini series, the 3 and the 4 team. And the other one's going to be a fine one. That is going to be the number 6 seed Diamondbacks versus the 11 seed 54 Giants. Well, folks, that's 30 minutes or so. I want to thank you for your time. Again, this is the brackets have been revealed here for the Major League Baseball Tournament of Champions that we'll do. Again, I want to thank Beatles for his kind of idea and concept that we've done. I appreciate that. That's why I want to throw my hat in the ring here, as he's using Action PC Baseball at a park, and he's also using Pennant Race 2. So I want to throw my hat in for this tournament. So stay tuned. We'll have these games coming up. We'll do other things on the channel, but 1978 replay will kind of be put a little over on the side. We'll run this March Madness 2. And thank you as always. Please like, please subscribe. I appreciate everyone for coming in. Have a good rest of your evening, and we'll see you for March Madness, the Major League Baseball tournament. And again, featuring 30 of your franchise's best teams. Have a good night, everybody, and we'll see you soon.